Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm reading today for Aquarius energy. Um so I'm reading for Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Mars and Aquarius Venus. Now, your sun sign is what everybody's familiar with. Hey, I'm Aquarius. Hi. But your Mars sign is like how you take action. So what motivates you, what fires you up, what makes you angry, what you do when you get angry. Your Venus sign is all about how you love, who you love, what you're like in romantic relationships, how you see the world in a kind of romantic sense, in the old-fashioned way of the word. So there's Aquarius. Now, I don't know who you are in this story, but you're getting strong affair energy. You're getting strong multiple. You've had this before. Now, the funny thing is there's an ice cream van circling. We'll probably hear it go past. And I remember the ice cream reading for you. I feel like you're the first person who had it. It's come out a few times since. But there was this thing about vanilla ice cream. It's like, if you've only ever had vanilla ice cream, you might think vanilla ice cream's the best flavor, right? But if you've never tried strawberry ice cream, chocolate ice cream, hazelnut, coffee, what did I have the other day? Bubblegum, candy floss, rum and raisin. There's a lot of ice cream flavors to try out there. And if you've only ever tried vanilla, and you want to stick with vanilla, that's fine. But there's other options, if you get what I'm saying. And you might try all those other options and be like, I'm sticking with vanilla, in which case, good for you. Vanilla, you can put it with a lot of stuff. So anyway, moving on from the ice cream analogy, the only thing I was kind of actually channeling for you was this sense of like a tall glass of cold, icy, sparkling water. And you know how, and this was how your energy was coming through. You came through as like refreshing. If you're ever like really hot or really thirsty and someone gives you like a glass of like sparkling, like very sparkly as well. I'm really seeing like sort of like diamond sparkly, kind of, what's the other word I wrote down? Twinkly energy. Maybe you got very twinkly blue eyes or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of like twinkly energy. And it feels very, maybe you're using Twinkle, it's like an educational website for kids. But you just feel like, I don't know, maybe you're just in need of a refreshment, right? Maybe you need to refresh your energy because you have regeneration here. Or there's somebody, a specific person for you. I'm not saying you're all having affairs, but watch out for, like, if you're dating and things, just watch out for people treating you like an option, because there is a little bit of something going on here. I'm going to explain more in a moment. But yeah, maybe it's like I'm going to come back to the tall glass of water. So the first song that I got, I channeled it sort of, I think it was in the early hours of this morning. And I had to look it up because I didn't know who sang it. But it's a Rod Stewart song, and it's I Don't Want to Talk About It. So let me just pull up the lyrics. Now, Rod Stewart is a Capricorn. I looked up his birth chart, and he's got, because we're talking about Mars and Venus placements, right? So he's Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Mars, and he's got Pisces Venus. Now, I kind of want to look at that Pisces Venus placement. Now, that's the next reading that I'm going to do. Pisces is going to be next. So if you've got a Pisces Venus placement, or you or your partner like are a Pisces, or you have those placements, definitely go and check out that reading as well. Especially, specifically, Venus Pisces seems to be coming in for you. Yeah, and then Capricorn had an element of this as well. I think I told them off sort of mid-reading for like breaking people's hearts, right? Bitches break broken hearts was the way it came through for Caps. So maybe somebody has these kind of placements. But yeah, it's so in Capricorn's reading came through like the player got played kind of thing. Not in a way where it's like anyone was playing games, but like the heartbreaker got the heartbroken, something like that. So the song is I Don't Want to Talk About It. And he says, I don't want to talk about it, how you broke my heart. If I stay here just a little bit longer, if I stay here, won't you listen to my heart? So I can tell by your eyes that you've probably been crying forever, and the stars in the sky don't mean nothing to you. They're a mirror. So there was something about sad eyes. Somebody got sad eyes this week. Let me just kind of look back through my notes. Sorry, I just saw Capricorn's reading yesterday. I didn't know what I was channeling at the time. And then I went and watched Renfield. And I was like, I think I've been channeling Renfield in Capricorn's reading. I was like, Capricorn, I feel like you're casting a spell on me. It's like, I feel like I'm obsessed with you. It's like, and I was like, oh, hang on. Like, I was like, I feel like you're this monster. It's really funny how I channel things, and then it's like it turns out to be something I'm watching. But I'm gonna put it up anyway because there probably is something in there for somebody. And if not, it was just an amusing reading, right? But I just saw Dracula again in their notes, and I got that Outcast song. So maybe somebody's feeling like an outcast. But you know, you're all I ever wanted, but I'm terrified of you. Yeah, your castle may be haunted, but I'm terrified of you. I've been around for ages. Maybe that's just to stop me from singing. It's like, stop getting into that. I'm just looking for Libra got sad eyes. Okay, back to the song. I feel a bit scattered. If I've got scattered energy, it could be because you or somebody that you're dealing with has very scattered energy. You start with the Seven of Cups, which is a scattered energy. Oh, excuse me, guys. Okay, so back to the lyrics of I don't want to talk about it. If I stand all alone, will the shadow hide the colour of my heart? Blue for the tears, black for the night. Fears the stars in the sky. Don't mean nothing to you, they're a mirror. So I don't know, take that if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. Maybe somebody really likes the singer Rod Stewart. Maybe it's something to do with those placements. Maybe somebody's called Rod or Stewart. Also, he's got Scottish English ancestry, so that could be relevant to somebody. And he was born in London, so London could be relevant to somebody as well. Also, his kind of like signature, his USP is he's got a very, very raspy voice. So somebody could have a raspy voice at the moment. Maybe you've just got a cold or something. I think he had like thyroid issues, so that could also be something for somebody. But I was really drawn to his relationships, especially because I was drawn to his Venus in Pisces placement. So again, that's my tomorrow reading, but it could be something that we need to talk about now if you're dealing with somebody with those placements or you've got those placements. So he's got Venus Pisces, and that's a very, very, it's a placement of unconditional love. Like, this person really, really does truly love unconditionally. Like, but they fall in love often. It's love without limits, Venus in Pisces. So you could be dealing with somebody, or you could, depending on who has these placements, there could be somebody who loves very freely and very openly, and doesn't like, or finds it hard to restrict that. Now, it's a very, very romantic placement. I actually love Venus in Pisces energy. It's really, I think it's a lovely placement, but it's not necessarily loyal, is what I'm gonna say. It's kind of like, it's because it's this very unrestrained energy. And that can work for some people. You know, people have open relationships, and other people are a little bit more loyal and kind of need something a little bit more stable and need something a bit more one-on-one. You know, neither's right or wrong. Everybody has different tastes, and as long as everybody's consenting and willing and knows what they're getting into, then that's kind of fine. But there could be something about taking advantage of people coming through. It's like you just really need to be upfront and honest with people, because you don't want, you know, you can't have people falling in love with you and then it's like you're swanning off to the next love affair. And I'm not saying that's you. I'm saying it could be somebody that you're dealing with. It's like they're very romantic and they're very truthful and honest with how much they love you. It's not, you know, it's kind of like they could have multiple partners, and it's not that they don't love you, and it's not like they're putting anyone else higher. It's just that, you know, they like a variety of flavors. I don't know what to say. So really confirming this for me. Oh, he's got 5 kids by 5 different mums as well. So this person, you or somebody else, could have lots of children by multiple partners. Maybe somebody just really likes kids. I don't know. You do have this kind of pick me energy. So this could be your own father. Maybe your father has lots of different children by lots of different people and is kind of like pick me, you know, like trying to get their attention, something like that. But the funny thing is, I was cleaning out my so I always clean the lint out of my tumble dryer, but I was kind of talking about it on Twitter yesterday, and I thought I need to give it a thorough, like, you know, properly pull my dryer apart and kind of properly clean it out. So rather than just doing the little, you know, the filter, I ended up pulling out the entire condenser unit, because it's a condenser dryer. And it was disgusting. I haven't done it for a while and it really needed doing. But I've obviously not been checking my son's pockets thoroughly because it was full of like, bits of change, like 20p's and stuff, loads of pieces of Lego, little Lego figures, Lego men, and about 10 acorns. Now, acorns talk to me about the future, the next generation, right? Kids. So the idea of like pulling out 10 acorns, I don't know, the acorns seemed somehow relevant to this multiple kids by multiple mums energy. Now, as if I was kind of like, not that I was making anything up. I don't make things up in my readings. I genuinely, whatever I get, I report to you kind of thing, even if it is kind of awkward to say, hey, Aquarius, are you considering having an affair right now? Pisces. Like, I don't know, right? But I just tell you what I get. And it could be something else entirely. So like maybe it's your own parents. But as if this wasn't confirmation enough for me, the next song that played was The Other Woman by Lana Del Rey. Now it's also by Nina Simone and Jeff Buckley. There's multiple covers of it. So, pick your flavour, I guess. Who's your favourite? Again, this could be pick me, like a parent thing. Who's your favourite? It's getting really awkward, this reading. But The Other Woman, so let me just pull up the lyrics. So it's a really nice, I know Lana Del Rey's version. It's a really beautiful but sad song, right? So the other woman finds time to manicure her nails. So this is like kind of from the wife's perspective. The wife, she's like running around after the kids. She hasn't got time to kind of like make herself all fancy. The other woman finds time to manicure her nails. The other woman is perfect where her rival fails. And she's never seen with pink curls in her hair. The other woman enchants her clothes with French perfume. The other woman keeps fresh cut flowers in each room. There are never toys that are scattered everywhere. And when her old man comes to call, he'll find her waiting like a lonesome queen, because when she's by his side, it's such a change from old routine. So the first 3 verses are really saying, the other woman, she's so beautiful. She's so, she's got it all going on. She's got no flaws. She's like all made up, kind of like maybe she's this cool, tall glass of water, right? This refreshing glass of water, because it says it's such a change from old routine. And it's like, I don't know, the married life, the long-term relationship is the old routine that's kind of got a bit stale. I mean, like, I'm not encouraging anyone to do anything here. Again, I think everybody needs to know what's happening. I don't think anything should be hidden from anyone. Everything needs to be above board and consensual. But also, I am a student of humanities. I know what humans are like. I know that we're all fallible. I know that we all get caught up in things and that we make mistakes and that we, our heart gets the better of our mind sometimes. And, sometimes you just need it. Sometimes you just need to feel something. Sometimes you just need to feel human if you've been caught up in the 9 to 5. So again, I'm not judging anyone here. I accept everybody for who they are, flaws and all. But it's just one of those things where it's like you don't want to hurt somebody, right? Especially like a long-term partner who, like the mother of your kids, the father of your kids, your stability, your home, your household, your entire life. Like, is it really worth, throwing that all away for a different taste of ice cream or one cold glass of water, right? But again, it could be what you need. I can't make these kind of decisions for people. It seems to be what's being in question here. And I don't know if you're the other woman as well, Aquarius, and again, this could be parents, which I'll come back to. But then it flips, right? And this is the realization, and this is where you understand in this reading that everybody gets hurt in this situation, unless it's consensual, unless it's an open relationship. Everybody knows what they're getting into. But the last chorus is, but the other woman will always cry herself to sleep. The other woman will never have his love to keep. And as the years go by, the other woman will spend her life alone. So this is clearly like a situation where it is a love affair, right? It's not just sex. It's not just paying for it. It's not just getting your rocks off. This is like especially Pisces Venus, it's the heart. It really is like, there's real love there, but to never be the one who's chosen, right? Never to always be the other woman and never to be the wife, to always be, to age and think, and again, flip it and reverse it. It could be the guy in this situation, right? It could be 2 women. But to always think, I'm getting older, mate, what if he doesn't want me anymore and I die alone because, he never committed to me. I've always been the side fling. You know, it's like that's not fair to treat somebody like that, especially if they love you, right? You've got to let them move on. It makes me think of that. Is there like a Whitney Houston song as well? So I can't pull it. I don't think I can pull it in. I feel like it's a Whitney Houston song, but it's a very similar theme. And she's getting all dressed up for a partner who's married, right? And it makes me think of that Taylor Swift song as well, Illicit Affairs, which makes me cry every time. You know, the language of like, you taught me a secret language I can never speak with anyone else. You know, it's heartbreaking. And it's such a brilliant song because, again, it's human. People get into these situations and there's so much heartache there, but it's so human, right? It's so poetic, and that's the penis energy, Pisces energy coming in. That's what she said. And then the last song you've got is Tension by JP Saxe. I'm feeling the tension. Maybe somebody plays a sax, I don't know. You say things you don't mean too damn convincingly. You take it back and then expect that it won't stick to me. Was it just an argument? No ounce of truth in it. I want to believe you, but you came off so articulate. I've tried walking away in my head. For a moment it's peaceful and then it scares me to death. So I guess sometimes tension brings us closer. Is it wrong? I just want to hold you when it's over. I just want to hold you when it's over, right? It's like not being able to let someone go. I get cold, but you get colder. Is it wrong? I just want to hold you when it's over. You're not the things you say. You're not the things you do. These are the lies I tell myself to stay with you. Right? I feel like I've walked into something I shouldn't have walked into here in this reading. But it's painful because it's love, right? You say love's push and pull. Well, you're both the push and the pull, and I'm the hanger on for dear life because I'm scared to let you go. The good that's left in us, it still feels good enough. Set us on fire and I'll find a way to hold us up. I've tried walking away in my head. For a moment it's peaceful and then it scares me to death. And then there's something else. You know, I would stick around in ways he wouldn't. So again, it could be flip it and reverse it. It could be two people who are both in long-term partnerships. You know, I would stick around in ways he wouldn't. You know, I'd put up with things I really shouldn't. You know, most of the weight of us is on my shoulders. You know, I'll forgive you, just keep it simple. You know, I will meet you so far past the middle. You know, no one's ever seen you any lower. Yeah, and then it kind of repeats. So, yeah, Pisces. You have Jupiter on the underlying. Now, this could be luck being on your side. This is the planet of luck and adventure. Maybe you're feeling very adventurous and experimental at the moment. You could be dealing with somebody who's kind of like a big heavyweight energy because Jupiter's like the king of the planets, right? So big leagues kind of energy. Excuse me, sorry about the burping. I've just had, you know, the Itsu noodles, I think with the gyoza in and stuff. They're so good, but gosh, they're repeating on me. The ring and the prince. So the ring, it could be a phone call, it could be a literal ring. The ring does talk about a commitment of some kind, you know, a promise, a commitment, a symbol of loyalty. And something of value as well in that. And then the prince is like the hopeless romantic. It is Piscean energy or Sagittarius energy. It's somebody who wants an adventure, right? It's somebody who's like the princess. They've been protected and they've been pampered, but they need to explore. They need to get out. They need to have an adventure so that they grow up. Quite gallant energy as well. Quite romantic energy. It's like, someday my prince will come. Again, I want to go into this reading remembering that people are people, and people are humans, and they have needs, and sometimes those are emotional needs, and sometimes they're the need to just to feel something, you know. And I want to kind of like release any blame or judgment in this reading because of the topic that we're dealing with. I don't want to kind of like condemn anyone or shame anyone or anything like that. And I think people people need to figure things out in their lives. And I don't even necessarily want to call things mistakes, because I think, you know, mistakes teach us things. So it's not fair to call something or someone who's teaching us a lesson a mistake. Do you see what I mean? I think everybody comes into our lives to help us grow, to have those experiences for us to mature. And yeah, that might come with some regrets, but um, you know, I don't know. So what I did want to say, and what I did want to bring into this, especially if this is parents, right? Maybe you've just found out that one of your parents had an affair or something like this. Maybe you found out about siblings that you didn't know about. I when I was very young, my dad had an affair with a lady, and she was Sagittarius. I don't know if that's relevant. And he did leave my mum for this. Hang on a second. My son just finally peeling himself up off the bedroom floor where he's been lay for hours. So yeah, so my dad, he had an affair, and he left my mum for this other lady. Um but she was wonderful, and she was good for him, she was right for him, and they made a brilliant couple. They you know, they were together a long time, but they did also break up. And I don't want to kind of go and talk too much about that, but I think being the child of a parent who had an affair, but being able to see being able to see the good in it, right? Being able to see the heart in it, I think was really important. Obviously, it wasn't fair to my mother, and it was hard and it was painful, and you know, that's hurtful. But at the same time, you know, from my perspective, I did gain kind of a second parent. You know, she was like a mother figure to me. She was wonderful, and hopefully I'm going to get to my dad's funerals this week. I'm hoping I actually get to see her again and have a chat. So yeah, I think, you know, life is really complicated, guys. I don't know. Anyway, whatever's going on for you, Aquarius, let's kind of get that energy to the background now, because there could be a really different situation going on for you. So I'm going to kind of take the cards for what they are. So there is this kind of, again, it's kind of this pick me energy. I don't like want to be bringing in pick me girls, because I think whenever you kind of like say anything derogatory, you really kind of like undermining a kind of person's human experience, and like why somebody may be acting like that, why somebody, if you don't know pick me girls, it's kind of like a trend on things like TikTok and YouTube, and it's you know, the girls, it's pick me, you know, I'm not like the other girls. I'm special. That kind of thing. And we're all special, guys. We're all pick me girls. But it's this feeling of like, the Seven of Cups is like, cups is always like emotions or heart, and the Seven of Cups is this feeling of like choosing between multiple options, and feeling quite confused and overwhelmed by all those choices and all those options. And I definitely see this here in the reading as well, repeating. So this feeling of like, I don't know what to choose, I don't know what to do, and kind of like confusion of emotions, confusion of the heart. But so I don't know if this is you are doing the one choosing, or you're the one who is an option. And I don't like the idea of people being options. You need to do what Libra did and take themselves off the table. They're like, hey, I'm nobody's option, I'm the Empress. Baby, I'm gonna go and do my own thing. But yeah, you feel like, I don't know, but then there's this kind of like, there's this moment of like pick me, kind of like, I want to stop saying that, like heart activation. It's like the chosen one, right? So it's whether she's being chosen by these fish, or the fish are being chosen by her. I mean, I guess it's a two-way relationship, but there's this moment of something electrifying your heart, or you know, their heart. There's this moment of like full-on heart activation, and it's wildness. It's like exciting. Again, it's that need for like adventure and romance, and like the need for your heart to feel something, you know, your heart to want somebody, your heart to think, oh my god, this person's so amazing, you know, they're really touching my heart. And again, it doesn't have to be romantic, it could be you got a job you wanted, or you found the right person for a job, or you I mean, definitely check out what your Venus placement is and watch the corresponding sign if you haven't already done that, because Venus talks about this kind of like wild heart activation. It's how you love and what you love. So yeah, it just feels like this moment of like, it's like feeling alive again is how I'd put it. It's like this feeling of like, I've got something to live for, like life means something because my heart's in it. I feel like somebody else had something similar to this. And then there's woman holding a heart. So it's like this is what you become, right? So again, I don't know, flip it and reverse it. This is what they become, this is what you become. But it's like this moment of heart activation all of a sudden turns this person into somebody who's putting their heart first, right? It's like their heart is their priority. Like they are holding their heart out, maybe to a certain person or to the world, or, you know, it's like there's this is who I am at this time, and this is what is speaking to me, and this is what I care about. And again, it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be environmental issues, because which is very Aquarian. Because the next series of cards we have is World Regeneration and Hunter. So World Regeneration, it's like renewing the world. And maybe it could be, again, if this is on a more personal note, it could be your world, right? Your way of perceiving the world, your way of existing in this world is regenerating. It's like something's coming back to life. Again, maybe somebody's actually had like, you know, like the paddles on the heart to reactivate the heart. My dad had that. He had a kind of, his heart was a little bit out of time, and he had to like reset his heart. Yeah, so it's like this, either you're regenerating, right, with wildness, maybe wildlife's regenerating. Again, there's multiple ways I can read it, but it's like it just feels like I'm getting a song. I'm getting Haim, Now I'm in it, right? Now I'm in it. Something for a minute. Let me see if I can pull it up. 'Cause I'm in it. Haim, Now I'm in it. There it is. I'm going to screenshot it so I remember to... Whoa, that is not how I screenshot. So remember to put it into your notes. So check out the description box. All the songs will be down there. Well, most of the ones that I remember. Looking in the mirror. You keep on getting this reference to a mirror. It was in the Rod Stewart song as well. Looking in the mirror again and again, wishing the reflection would tell me something. I can't get a hold of myself. I can't get out of this situation. Walking in a straight line, thinking about last time. This time I said I would do this right. This time I said I would do this right. I said I would never break this promise. And now I'm back to counting on us. We cannot be friends. So that gives me, you know, in Wolf of Wall Street, which I think came through for Libra, in Wolf of Wall Street, where Leonardo DiCaprio's character is talking to Margot Robbie's character, and she's like, we're not going to be friends. You know, it's like, they're going to be more than friends, right? We cannot be friends, cannot pretend that it makes sense, because now I'm in it. But I've been trying to find my way back for a minute. Damn, I'm in it. And I've been trying to find my way back for a minute. Locking all the doors to my house, I'm alone in my head, but I wish you were in my bed. Can't get a read on myself, I've got to change this situation. Something in the way that I felt when I woke up told me that I shouldn't give up hope, told me that I shouldn't fight for what I felt, told me that I should not let go, because we cannot be friends. So it's like not being able to be friends with somebody because you're more than friends, right? It's like your heart's in it, something like that. But the World, the Regeneration, and the Hunter. I mean, be careful about like Heart Hunter, you know, somebody who's, you know, again, they've got a string of broken hearts, that kind of energy. But gosh, this set of readings, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and your reading all feels like one big whirlwind of a love affair. But yeah, so the Hunter card talks about don't take more than your fair share, right? Don't take more than you need. Respect your environment, respect nature, understand that, you know, you can't overhunt, because then, you know, the population of animals that you're hunting can't regenerate itself. So it's really just talking about this respect for, especially with the World and Regeneration, it's like respect for nature and not taking more than is sustainable. So this could be talking to you because you're Aquarius, right? It could be talking to you about sustainable living, like having a sustainable lifestyle where perhaps you're thinking of ways that you can help the environment. You don't want to keep using plastic bags, so you switch to like canvas bags. You know, you take your own bag shopping. It could be things like instead of buying disposable coffee cups, you get one of those kind of like reusable coffee cups. You know. Like, you know what I mean, like the takeout, reusable takeout coffee cups, or what else could it be, you know, the kind of like getting a eco-friendly car rather than something that's like, you know, really using a lot of fuel, or taking the bike to work instead of taking the car to work, and then you know you're getting there quicker because you're like, oh, I'm taking all these shortcuts and I'm healthier. So it's like looking at all these ways that you're giving back to nature, perhaps, that kind of thing. And this can talk about relationships as well, like don't give more than you take, you know. Are you taking too much out of relationships and it's making those relationships non-sustainable? You know, like the people can't keep giving to you if you keep taking. Do you need some reciprocity? Someone had reciprocity, I can't remember who. Those kind of questions. But there's this bear energy, which again is giving Leo, not Leo. I saw the line and said Leo. Maybe somebody's a Leo, or has Leo placements, but Pisces. The bear is Pisces to me personally. So there could be a Pisces involved, and they want to give you a leg up or a leg over. I don't know, but it's like they want to help you out, right? So this card's been coming up a lot recently. This idea of like giving somebody a piggyback, giving somebody a lift if this is like a car, or giving someone help, like mentorship. It's coming through quite protective, which is interesting because it's next to Hunter today. And then this thing about trust as well, the owl and trust, crystal cave and trust. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry, guys. Goodness me. Can you remind me not to eat itsy noodles before doing a reading in the future? This is something like oh, just to say as well, the world card can be about education and completion. So there could be a cycle completing for you, a phase of your life completing. Perhaps this is like a 7-year thing, 7-year itch or something. I don't know, because you've got 7 down here as well. But it's like, it could be because, which one is it? I don't know if it's Saturn or Pluto. It's one of those big, slow-moving planets, and it stays in a sign for 7 years. And they're both shifting signs. Saturn's gone from Aquarius to Pisces now. I think I'm thinking of Pluto. Pluto's a real tough love energy. Pluto's a real kick in the balls kind of, and Saturn is as well, to be honest. They teach us really tough lessons. But as Pluto moves around our birth chart between all our 12 houses, right, it's going to teach us lessons and test areas in different areas of our life, and it's on a 7-year cycle. So you should be completing, this is all of us, right? We all should be completing some kind of 7-year cycle right about now. So we're really concreting those lessons that we've been learning. You know, we're really kind of like, we've all got that sense of, phew, I'm really glad that phase is over now. I'm looking forward to whatever new is in store for me. But in those 7 years, Pluto comes in and it tests the foundations of whatever house it's in for your chart. And again, this is all of us. Like Pluto is always in our chart somewhere. It just depends on which area. So it comes in, it tests the foundations, it rocks our world, it kind of makes us question things, it makes us analyze things and really have a deep delve into that area of our life. And then we face our problems, we face our fears, we build ourselves back up again. Pluto goes out of that house and goes back into it to make sure we've really learned those lessons, and then it goes right, and then it's into the next area of our life. So again, it could be an area that's really had a feeling of destruction in your life, where you can now regenerate that area of your life, right? It's like anything that Pluto felt was not necessary in your life, anything that it's removed from you, it's now you can go into that phase of recovery. And it could be, I can't say exactly what that is for you because it depends on your personal birth chart, but yeah, it's difficult. And then yeah, so surprise Aquarius, Pluto's in your sign for 7 years. So good luck with that. This will be fun for you. Capricorn's already been through it. Capricorn has been like, it's like dragged over hot coals. Like it was harsh. So I don't think it's going to be as brutal for you because you're a more um Capricorn's a more stubborn, fixed sign. They really like the rules. They really like the structure. They really kind of have those comfort zones. So Pluto kind of is a bit harder to deal with for Capricorn, where you are, it's almost like digging the heels in when there's a tornado. You're much more embracing of innovation. You're much more willing to let things go because you know that when things fall apart, you can rebuild them. That's kind of so kind of Pluto in Aquarius is quite collaborative and quite a mental energy. You're an air sign, so you've got this kind of like it's almost like not an agreement, but like a compatibility between you being a very intellectual, very analytical energy and Pluto being like the inquisitor. So you've both got this analysis thing going on, which it's kind of like two heads are better than one. So I actually feel like Pluto in Aquarius is going to be much more progressive and stimulating, where I feel like it can be very destructive in Capricorn. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Like we're on regeneration, right? We're like it's spring. It's gonna be fine, guys. My avocados, they lost. I've got 6 avocado plants. 4 of them lost all their leaves over winter, and now they've got like little buds on the stems. I'm like, they're not dead. They're coming back to life. So yeah, being able to see the signs of this as well if you're in the northern hemisphere. So yeah, the owl and crystal cave trust and a leg up. If there's somebody coming in who's offering you support right now, they're offering you love, right? It's like they've got the heart held out. It's like, I'm here to support you. I'm here to love you. I'm doing this because I care. Again, it doesn't have to be romantic. It could just be someone stepping forward into your life and saying like, look, just accept my friendship, accept we cannot be friends, or maybe it's we can't not be friends, right? How could we not be friends? We're going to be best friends, you know. Read into it the way you want to read into it. But there's somebody here who's holding the heart out to you and they're like, look, I'm trying to support you, I'm trying to love you, I'm trying to be a friend to you, whatever it is. And maybe you have trust issues, because you know better, right? You know not to take things at face value. You know that people don't often give without wanting something in return, you know. So if you've had relationships, again, Capricorn have felt like they've gone through the ringer. If you've had relationships where you've been taken advantage of, or you know, you trusted people and they broke your trust, and you know, you've been, you know, maybe it's harder to trust people again. So I want to say you are going into a situation here with somebody else where there is trust, right? It's like you're willing to trust. You're willing to maybe revive a relationship. Maybe it is, maybe somebody had an affair and you're back with your partner and it's like, we've got to rebuild the trust here. You know, like you trust is earned. I can't just trust you implicitly, you know, you have to earn my trust back. It could be that kind of situation because the owl is telling me like you're not trusting blindly, right? You're not trusting innocently, you're trusting knowingly, right? It's like you're trusting with wisdom, you're trusting with knowing what that means to trust, right? And knowing uh the consequences of breaking that trust, I want to say. um and then you go back to this feeling of choosing. So again, back to the 7 of Cups. Who are you going to pick? Who's going to pick you, right? Maybe you're on something kind of like dating app or something, I don't know. um and then this feeling of, so what I'm getting here, like, sorry, I'm just shifting around on my, I've got a little stool that I sit on and it's quite awkward because I can't put I'm on a chest of drawers, so I can't put my knees underneath the surface, so I sit kind of like twisted, which is probably not very good for my back. There's like no good way to sit. So right, whatever's going on, I want to say you've got love in the middle of this reading, right? You've got a woman holding a heart, you've got love, and you've got this partnership, right? A leg up. There's 2 people on this card who love each other and respect each other, and they find comfort in each other. It's making me think a little bit of Scorpio's reading. Again, if anyone's got Scorpio in the chart or they're dealing with Scorpio had this lovely feeling of they're giving me by your side, that Lana Del Rey song. It was like Libra with, it was like Scorpio was stepping next to a Libra, right? It's like this, you know, like they were side by side and it was supportive. It was this really interesting kind of like unspoken bond or something, you know, like relationships where you feel the other person's energy, you don't necessarily have to speak. You know, like, you know, it just feeling their touch, it's like, you know what that means, right? You can feel their support just by them holding your hand, something like that. But yeah, this love here. The love card is actually the lover's card. It's beautiful in this deck because it looks like the strength card. The strength card being confidence, you know, a supportive relationship, you know, the backbone in your life. But it looks like the strength card, but it's not. It's the lover's card, and the lover's card can talk about a choice of the heart. And again, we start with this, right? We start with a heartfelt choice or a choice regarding the heart, which is the meaning of the lover's card. It used to be called the choice. So it doesn't necessarily have to be choosing between people, right? It doesn't have to be a romantic situation where you're like, which woman, this one or the other one, you know? It's more saying, you know, it can be that, but it can also be a heartfelt choice, like something where your heart's in it. Now I'm in it, right? So, and you do, because this is with indecision, it's really emphasizing that you have a choice to make. And you need to, basically, the point of the lover's card or the choice card is you need to choose your heart. Like, your heart is the only right choice that you can make in this situation, right? Like, what is your heart telling you? Which I think gets overly complicated if you've, you know, say you're married and you've got kids, you know, you've got a lot going on there in terms of like, you know, the money aspect of like, you know, you share a home, you know, are you paying the bills? Like, you know, your children's security and your children's future, that is, and of course my dad choosing to leave my mum, put my personal security and my sense of stability at risk. And I have issues with that as well. I have issues as an adult because of that. And again, I you know, I wouldn't have him make a different choice, you know? So, but choices have consequences. And I think maybe this is the point. Choices and their consequences, right? So it's like, but you don't know, this is the point, and this is what this part of the reading is saying. It's like, you don't know what will happen when you make a choice. You don't know what the consequences are going to fully be. You don't know what your life will look like when you choose, right? So you're at this choice point and it feels like an impossible choice because you can't see the future. So you have this indecision, right? And it says unknown, unknown. So it's like all the paths are unknown here because you haven't made that choice yet. And then you've got this long dark night of this long night moon and darkness. It's like long dark night of the soul. It's like this perpetual indecision, or maybe you've got Libra in your chart. I can't make choices either, guys. No, that's not fair. Libra makes choices. They take a long time to really weigh everything up and analyze everything, and to so when they make a choice, they fully commit to it because they're sure, right? They've weighed out all the pros and cons. They've looked at it from multiple different angles, multiple perspectives. Everybody's opinion has been taken into account. So yeah, Libra doesn't make choices lightheartedly. They make very solid choices that are normally the right choice because they thought so hard about it. But yeah, so they just seem indecisive to like an Aries, because an Aries is like quick decision. So it's like they're not indecisive, they just like to think about it more. Yeah, but it feels like support, right? Support through dark times. So maybe somebody has supported you through dark times and this has built up a sense of trust. And then we run into the Coyote and Persephone. There is this hunting energy that's curious, because you have the hunter and then you have this coyote that's very changeable. It's like very the coyote is not a trustworthy energy, is it? I wouldn't say. Like, they're known to be a little bit wily. Wily coyote, right? It's funny, I was getting Bugs Bunny for somebody else as well. a Taurus. I feel like it was in the Taurus reading that I didn't put up. They had something about a startled cat. It's like this cat that was um it was just the energy of a startled cat. And you know that moment where a cat is really tense and then they shoot off very fast. And so the other example they gave me was Bugs Bunny, you know, the witch in Bugs Bunny, where she pauses and then she darts off, and it's like the hairpins fly, right? So just it's funny, like it's something about like the kids cartoons, right? The Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner, because you've got this. So there's something too that if I get drawn into something, if I get pulled into something, it means something to somebody, or like it will do. There's this peacock here, right? And this peacock is like an animal I associate with Capricorn. Like how I say bears are Pisces to me, lions are Leo to me. Like peacocks are Capricorn energy, because they're normally on the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, which are Capricorn cards. So it's this showy energy, this kind of like flamboyant energy that comes along with Capricorns. So it's, even though it's a peacock, it's kind of giving me Roadrunner. You know, like Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. He was always chasing him, but he never caught him. Oh, okay. The hunter. You always want what you can't have. Okay, you always want what you can't have. So there could be somebody, whoever's in this kind of like hunter energy. It's the unknown that intrigues them, right? It's almost the energy of like, they like the thrill of the chase. And so if they can't have somebody, it makes it more tempting to them. Or if they can't have something, right? So Coyote's trickster. And then the journey with Persephone. Sorry, and the reading gets confusing as it goes on, because it's almost like this is kind of more present and then this is more into the future, so it's harder to read. So there's something about, right, there's trust and love as you go into the unknown, which is the darkness, right? As you journey into the unknown, right, it's like tasting the forbidden fruit. This was coming through for someone as well, like tasting the forbidden fruit, tasting the, it's like, you know, you shouldn't, right? Like Persephone with the pomegranate seeds, or Eve with the apple. It's like, you know, you shouldn't. But then again, it's the idea of like this being knowledge and experience and destiny. So it's like you're being asked to trust something, knowing full well that it could be some sort of trick or something, but then it leads to victory. It leads to victory. And I want to say the victory because you've been chosen, right? Or victory because you chose wisely, right? It's like this person gets crowned, this person gets, because you can see this one's kind of like in the spotlight and there's these other girls in the background. So it's like this one's the winner. This she's the most beautiful. She's mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all, right? We kept on getting mirror. Funny how I get things eventually. If I keep going, I'll get it. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And then this one gets crowned, right? She's the fairest of them all. Right? Hades picks Persephone. Hades, incidentally, was very, very loyal to Persephone. There's not many accounts of him kind of having multiple affairs like Jupiter, Zeus. Oh my god, the apple underneath that. The apple in the portal? What? So it feels like, again, Capricorn had the king, right? It's like the king tempting you through, across the void. Like, come come closer, come down this path, right? But Zeus had a lot of affairs. I was gonna say it's funny because my I was on like classical Twitter. Classical Twitter's great. Anyone likes classics. Classical Twitter, if you get on it and find the accounts, like highbrow jokes. But there was one about Hera and the representation of Hera and Zeus in Disney's Hercules, which is like, it's almost like perfect happy family. These are the good guys. And no, they were awful. Hera and Zeus were legitimately awful. Like they were gods. They didn't follow human rules, right? And this is maybe a thing as well. Like, you know, when people get so high up, they start to feel invincible, right? And they start to make me think of a Cat Empire song, Stolen Diamonds. Someday you wake up, and you find you're not invincible at all. But you still walk out into bright lights. Every heart is cheering for you now because it's your birthday. You're the king of stolen diamonds. But yeah, it's this feeling of, yeah, and then Hades, who was like the bad guy in Hercules. He was actually pretty chill, to be fair. He was pretty amicable. You know, he was agreeable. He'd negotiate. He was a businessman, like, kind of thing. Hades, he would negotiate. He would hear you out. He would be moved by music, you know, that kind of thing. So, I don't know. There's something about, like, it's almost like two princes. You know, 1, 2 princes here before you. But it's like the king with the apple, the king with the temptation, but he's got no plans to commit, and then the prince with the ring. I don't know. Choose wisely, Aquarius. That's what I'm going to say. But then you have this thing about achieving something or putting a lot of work into something. And maybe this is why you get the victory, because you've committed to something. So I want to say, where there's indecision here, there's a commitment here with the 7 of Earth. And then it goes to the 8 of Earth from a different deck. But it's like your hard work pays off. Is the way I would read this. So the 7 of Earth is always, what I'm kind of seeing with these 3 cards is water's more ideas or conversations or dreams, right? Water's the moment of, the 7 of Water is like, these are my options. And then the 7 of Earth is like, these options taking root, these options, you know, no longer being dreams, but becoming reality, you know, something tangible. So it's like your dreams taking root, or your dreams becoming seeds. And then the 7 of Earth talks about commitment, right? Putting the work in, committing to something. So I don't know what choice you're going to make, but this is kind of almost encouraging you to make a choice. Like, you know, maybe it's something where you're trying to, you know, follow your dreams, but you don't know what to choose. You've got so many ideas, right? It's like, there's so many things that I could do with my time, but what, you know, I don't know what to choose. I don't know what's the best option. If it's investments, I don't know which investment to choose. I don't know which is the best one. This is almost saying, just pick one, right? Pick me, pick one, make a choice. Because when you're sat in indecision, it's kind of like a limbo state. And you need to, when you choose one, or you start to make progress, right? When you commit to something, when you put in the time, when you put in the effort, when you work hard on this, and that's when you have the victory and success, right? That's when you get to the 8 of Pentacles. Because the 8 of Pentacles is like, you've worked on something for so long that you've mastered it. You've worked on something for so long that you've learned everything you can about it. Again, you've kind of got the world there, right? It's like almost like the world's your oyster or something happening up there. So maybe you do have a lot of choices. Again, I don't know what it is. It doesn't have to be an affair. But yeah, it's like when you choose one, and you turn away from the other, because this is always like, it's almost like a lion's paw here. It's like being turned away from the other, the choice that you didn't make, right? The road not traveled. And you get focused on working hard on, you know, one thing. Again, Pisces is an all over the place energy, very dreamy, very non-committal, very can be seen as lazy, a bit like Libra. It can be seen as lazy, but it's not necessarily lazy. It's more of a dreamer energy, an ideas dreamer, a philosophical energy, not necessarily grounded. It's not like Taurus that's like, let's start this plow moving. You know, it's an ideas person energy, which is beautiful in its own right. Like look at Imagine by John Lennon, which came up the other day. But this is kind of like, pick one and work on it, pick one and focus on it, pick one and put your effort into that, and that's how you get success and victory. Because the scattered indecisive energy is not going to get you very far, because it's kind of like your attention's in too many places. You've spread yourself too thin or something like that. But then after victory, you get something really curious happening, because you get letting go, right? Spirit guardian of autumn, letting go. So with this kind of spring energy here and then this autumn energy here, it's almost like it's okay if something comes to you for a season. It's okay if maybe something is temporary, and it kind of makes me think of like, you know, maybe like jobs where you're contracted to a certain job for a certain amount of time, or a certain project, right? And it's like you complete that project and you've really mastered a lot of skills doing that, and you've really had success and victory on that project you were working on, but the project's done now, right? It's completed, and therefore you have to let go of that and embrace what's coming next. You know, and start the whole process over again. You know, then you come back to this point of having a choice. What do I choose? You know, there's so many ideas, there's so many things that I could work on. What do I choose? So again, it doesn't have to be romantic. It's going through strong with romance energy, but it doesn't have to be. It's going to be different for everybody. Maybe the romance is specifically for Venus placements. You know, and for the Mars Aquarians out there, this could be much more to do with like, where are you putting your efforts? You know, what are your choices? Pick one and get working on it, kind of thing. And then, you know, then you can cross that one off and pick one of the others. But, you know, this idea of kind of juggle things, or because you have this juggling energy, it kind of fell out onto the floor, so I didn't put it in the reading. But this is a juggling energy. Maybe you've got too many projects on the go, you need to kind of refine what you're working on, something like that. But yeah, like learning how to let go of things as well, learning how to move on to the next thing. But then you get this curious thing as well about, it's like you let go and give into chaos, is the way I'm reading it, because you have this harpy energy, chaos, and then there's something about like the combination of these three cards, right? It's like the combination of, because this always talks to me about like somebody projecting. So it could be somebody projecting something onto somebody else, like she's the reason for all this chaos, when actually you're not taking ownership for your part in it. It's almost like the mystical shaman, which is a very magical kind of old magic energy. It's like the mystical shaman projects onto this person, and she becomes this, right? It's like the combination of these two cards in some way becomes this card. After you've worked very hard on something, then comes the chaos, the harpy energy. But it's not necessarily bad. I'm going to read from this. It's my newest deck, and I find it quite, I'm a classics student. I really love humanities and classics and literature, so I really love kind of storytelling and, you know, the manifestations of our own psyche into these characters, I think is so interesting to me. So let's have a quick read. The situation will evolve very quickly. Remove yourself from the influence of chaotic people and situations. Stand firm. Justice is being sought actively and may well be found. Organising influences must be found to turn chaos into advantage. Chaos is a ladder, baby. Do not be too hungry for the wrong things. That's funny, because I feel like, was it Caps that had, or was it, no, I feel it could have been Scorpio had hunger in their reading. In today's lexicon, we can only hear about the word harpy as a derogatory term for a shrill and unpleasant woman. Women who are outspoken and who work within patriarchal systems often get that term thrown their way, and it references a screeching and thoroughly ugly and unpleasant creature of the ancient Greek and Roman worlds. Yeah, it feels like projection. So you've got this like beautiful character who, like a woman who has some sort of success because she's worked really hard on something, and then like people are projecting onto her she's a harpy, right? But almost like if this is you, it's almost like let go of what people say, let go of what people think of you. If people say that you're, you know, shrill and uncooperative, you know, own it. Be like, yeah, but I get the job done. You know, it's like, it's tough being a woman in business, right? And it is, it's, you know, references like Uncle Karen as well, guys. Like, so, you know, throwing terms around like she's a harpy, she's a Karen, she's a bimbo. It's just a way to for, you know, patriarchal systems, which the Western world runs on, to stop women from having success. And again, you've got to really look at your own psyche. If you see a woman being successful and you want to knock her down, it's like, shouldn't we be rooting for her? Doesn't mean you have to root for every single woman, because there can be some women who are successful who are horrible, just like there's men in powerful positions who are horrible. But, you know, sometimes you've got to look at the why, and sometimes you've got to look at the system as a whole, and maybe don't give some people such a hard time. I don't know. The origin of the harpies were associated with the elements of air and wind. The most destructive, so that's your energy, right? Air and wind, being an air sign. You're not a water sign, you're an air sign. Just remember that. The most destructive winds were caused by the harpies, and which always brought with them terror and chaos. Traditionally, harpies flew. They were women-bird hybrids at great speeds and came crashing through the air with no warning. The harpies in the old mythos were ugly and fierce, with claws, bird wings, terrible voices and sharp teeth, and they were always, always hungry. This hunger never satiated, meaning they would swoop down and steal food from humans, they're like seagulls, and take cattle and even people. If someone disappeared without warning, it was said that the harpies had carried them off. Zeus himself, you've got Jupiter, right? Jupiter is Zeus in Roman mythology. Zeus himself would send the harpies to torment those who deserved it, and the stories featuring harpies often included them punishing those who had starved their families by stealing or polluting their food. King Phineus of Thrace, for example, had condemned his own children, and thus the harpies were sent to defecate in and steal all his food. While in many ways the harpies embodied chaos, they also, as justice bringers, brought justice and structure to situations that required retribution or some kind of punishment. Draconculus vulgaris, Dragonarum. That's the plant companion. Okay, so I don't know what to make of that. You have more cards, but the cards stopped. They refused to come out. I thought I was going to be like Taurus and Virgo. Taurus and Libra. Their cards kind of went off the end of the table and kind of onto the floor behind me, but no more cards would come out off camera. So I kept them to one side, and I thought maybe they'll come out on camera for you. Maybe there's a reason for that. Anything? Yeah, there you go. Anything else? So the sun will come out tomorrow. Rainbow, don't give up on hope. Does seem to be some sort of bird-like animal, doesn't it? So the rainbow is a very positive omen. It's a very positive sign. Anything else for Aquarius, please? The soul. Souls are multifaceted. Souls are like a diamond, right? Like a beautifully cut crystal. If you shine a light through your soul, ideally you would see multiple colours, and this would really talk about who you are, right? We're multifaceted, we're multidimensional, we're not meant to have one experience here on earth. We're complex. Our souls are complex, right? And the eye and the true colors really talks to me about seeing someone's true colors, seeing someone for who they truly are, and not, you know, just be careful you're not projecting your own I'm hearing BS, your own BS onto somebody else. Let go of that. And I mean, there's passion, right? The rainbow and passion. I mean, you could be talking again about what makes you passionate and who makes you passionate, you know, rainbow. Some of you, if you know what I'm saying there. I don't know why I'm being so guarded about it. I'm talking about LGBTQT plus people. And surrender. Like, you've got letting go and surrender. Surrender to your soul's passion. Surrender to experience. Surrender to try not to control situations. Capricorn had that at the end of their reading. Is that it? Feels like that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so Let's get you one more song, Aquarius. I don't really know. Maybe Neapolitan ice cream, tutti frutti. They're giving me, hey, good looking. What you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? Maybe have a look at Scorpio's reading. They were cooking. Summer Nights. Summer Lovin'. I don't know why it gave me that. Summer Nights by Tiesto and John Legend. I see you in my head, you ain't like the rest, you ain't bringing me down, baby. You're right next to me, we're making history. The sun's about to go down. I want to be wherever you are, impossible to take it too far. Summer nights getting high like the first time. You and I make it last forever. I see you in my bed getting undressed. It's about to go down, baby. It wasn't just a dream. I guess it's meant to be. I've got to tell you right now. Be careful about like chat up lines. Careful about getting really wrapped up in the moment. I mean, again, that's like an experience, right? I'm not sure. I don't know. Again, I don't want to judge anyone or anything like that. You've got your own life to live. You've got your own mistakes to make, which are not really mistakes, right? They're experiences to help you grow and learn. I want to say just be careful about being upfront about expectations. You know, if you're going to be with a new partner, or even if it's like a business partner, right, you really need to say from the start, if you're just looking for a fling, I think you need to be honest with that. Don't The thing about Pisces as well, if anyone's got any Pisces placements, Pisces really means it when they say it. Pisces is like, I will love you forever. But that doesn't mean they're going to commit to you one-on-one forever. You know, it's like they will love you forever. You know, on the deathbed, they'll be like, God, that was a really fun night. But, you know, I really loved that person. They were great. But it doesn't mean... just be careful. Just be careful. Because, again, people have different expectations. And you don't... With all the best intentions in the world, with all the intentions of, like, I just want to show this person how much I love them in this moment... you know, they might need more than a moment from you, and if you can't give that, I don't know if it's fair to... Don't assume everybody's on the same page, I think is kind of what I want to say with that. All right, I hope this was really helpful. Take care of yourselves, my lovelies, and yeah, just think, just be upfront. You're an air sign, right? Aquarius, like, you've got those communication skills. Like, just say, just put it out there on the table, and it'll either... The thing is, right, if you say to someone, I mean, you can test the waters a little bit first, you know, I'd say don't sleep with someone. Don't have sex with somebody before you've had a conversation about where this is going, right? It's like, you know, if you want a couple of dates with somebody, see how it goes, test the waters, get to know each other a bit, like, that's fine. But I think you need to kind of say, I think you need to kind of be upfront and say, like, if, you know, I'm looking for a good time, you know, we're going to have a fun night, you know, or, you know, I'm looking for something long term. Are you married? You know, those kind of questions. And then, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go. I hope this is helpful to you. I don't know what this reading was. I'm going to go and recharge my phone and do Pisces. I'll see you again soon, guys. Bye.